Hey guys, and welcome to the next tutorial for Go programming. In this tutorial we will be talking about functions. Functions are actually the basic building blocks in Go code or any programming language. They are very versatile so that even they can be used in the Go, and it has a lot of characteristics of a functional language since Go is almost near to a functional language. So every program consists of a number of functions. It is the basic code block, and because Go code is compiled in the order in which the functions are written in the program, it doesn't actually matter. But however, the readability for readability, it is actually better to start with the main parentheses and write the function in a logical order. For example, I can say the calling order. The main purpose is to break a large problem which requires many code lines into a number of smaller tasks. Also, the same task can be invoked several times, so a function promotes code reuse. In fact, a good program honors the DRY principle. That is, don't repeat yourself. It means that the code which performs a certain task should only appear once in a program until unless required otherwise. So I'll show you one more example as to how we could do that as well. A function ends when it has executed its last statement before the final this specific curly brace. So, or when it a return statement, so which can be or without or with an argument, and these arguments are the values that the functions return from its computation. A simple return can thus also be used to return an infinite for loop and to stop a Go routine. There are three types of functions in Go: normal functions with an identifier, anonymous functions or lambda functions, and methods. Any of these can have parameters and return values. The definition of all the function parameters and return values and together with the types is called as a signature. And as a reminder, there is a syntax prerequisite. It must be in the form of something like function g, something like a function g, and whatever it may be. This is the valid type. If you type something like this, it is invalid in Go. It must and it should be in this way. A function is called or invoked in a code, and it will be in a general format by something like, let's say, pack1 period function. Kindly ignore my spelling mistakes. If you could say it an argument 2 and whatever the argument would be, argument n, and something like this. Here function is a function in package pack1 and arg1 etc. and the arguments. So the values which are passed into the parameters of function, and when a function is invoked when function is invoked in copies of the arguments, they are actually made and they are then passed to call the function. This invocation happens in the code of another function, that is the calling function. A function can call other functions as much as needed, and these in turn call other functions, and this can go on with a theoretically no limit, or the stack upon which the functions called are actually placed is exhausted. Confusing? Let me show you a simple example of function calling another function. In main calling greeting, and perfect, and greeting let's say I'll just write hi, for example, and I'll save this. Let's see. Okay, let me check what is the mistake. Package main, function main, print ln, and greeting, print ln in the main call after greeting. Okay, my bad, I'll just repeat this because I'll just remove this to run. Perfect. I'll just copy this and paste it over here, and perfect. In main call before greeting, in greeting hi, and in main call after greeting. Perfect. A function call like here, it can have another function as its argument, provided that this function has the same number and argument of types in the correct order. under the first function and or which the first function needs actually. Suppose let's say f1 needs 3 arguments and f2 returns 3 arguments. f2 and a, b, int, they can be of the format of f1 colon f2. Function overloading, that is what it's called. Function loading is actually a coding or something I can say like function overloading, that is coding 2 or more functions in a program with the same function name but a different parameter list or a different return type is not actually allowed in Go. It will give you a compiler error stating that function name redeclared in this block and previous declare is set line number and whatever the line number would be. The main reason is that overloading function forces the runtime to do additional type matching which reduces performance. No overloading means a simple function dispatch is needed, so you need to give your functions appropriate unique names, probably named according to their signature. To declare a function implemented inside Go, such as an assembly routine, you simply give the name and signature and no body. Function flush iCache, let's say for example, it is implemented externally. Functions can also be used in the form of a declaration as a function type, like something of the format, something like type, let's say bin 0p, and function something like int comma int, and in this case only the body, that is the curly brackets, are omitted. Functions are first class values. They can be assigned to a variable. The variable add, it gets a reference to the function and it knows the signature of a function it refers to. So it is not possible to assign it to a function with a different signature. Function values can be compared and they are equal if they refer to the same function or if both are nil. A function cannot be declared inside another function, but this can be mimicked by using anonymous functions. Go has until now no concepts of generics, which means for simple defining, let's say one function which can be applied to a number of variable types. However, most cases can be solved simply by using interfaces, especially the empty interface and a type switch. For example, let's say something like 11.10 or 11.11 or 11.2, something like that. Code complexity is increased using these techniques and performance is lowered. So when performance is very important, it is better and it will produce more readable code to create a function explicitly for every use type. So I think as of now that would be it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial I'll be starting with parameters and return values. So thank you for watching this tutorial guys and have a nice day ahead.